Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the In the Huddle podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Chris Rotondo.
And I'm Sam Fish.
And Sam Fish. Today we have a very exciting episode, a little mid-season action with some tiers here, going over what teams exceeded, did slightly better, met, and you guys get the point, Sam, but this all has to do with everything that was expectations headed into the season.
Yeah, basically, you look at tier lists with the NFL, it's not going to be a straight up what their standings are, a ranking of the teams itself. We're specifically ranking it based on what the expectations were for all 32 of these teams going into the season versus how they're doing right now. So yeah, exceeded expectations would be like your A tier, then slightly better than expectations, that's your B tier. Met, C tier, met expectations. Did a little bit worse so far, and then completely failed expectations. So you guys get the point, yeah.
Yeah, so there's no confusion over why a team might be higher than, let's say, the Chiefs. Or
yeah, like if
like
the Chiefs are in the middle, that's not because they're doing bad this year. It's because they met expectations. So yeah, that's an example. All right, Chris, we have this in alphabetical order. So let's start with the Arizona Cardinals. This one should be fairly quick. Met expectations, right? I mean, they're one of the worst teams in the NFL, and we thought they were going to be one of the worst teams in the NFL. So that one's pretty easy. Difficult one, I don't know about for you. I feel like the Falcons are interesting because they're just 4-4. They're
it's
an average
because of their
team.
record. And
I know it's weird because
as much as you love to hate them and how easy it is to hate, at the same time they're out here winning games.
They're 4-4. I don't know what exactly I would have picked them to be at this point. Maybe 3-5. But I also feel like
they're in the race to win the division too.
But the eye test, they're not playing that well. So I'm actually stuck on this. I feel like you might have to just meet in the middle and go Met. But their record's better than expectation, but their play, in my opinion, is worse. So I feel like Met, that's probably the best option. Yep. Okay, so
Sam,
we'll just put the Falcons there.
We have a division rival in the Baltimore Ravens, and this is a team who, for the most part, has stayed healthy besides J.K. Dobbins week 1. And this is a team who they stay healthy. They're always going to be blowing people away. So I know we agree on this. I'm going to have them at slightly better.
Yeah, that's very simple. I think if they were like undefeated or something, first place be exceeded, but yeah, just
they're always an eye-opening team, one that makes you turn your head because you never know when Lamar can break out a 60-yard rushing touchdown.
I think the fact that they've stayed on course, beating the teams that they should for the most part is good.
All right, another AFC team, the Buffalo Bills, Sam. This one is a team who they're going to be in the hunt in the AFC, but they have been kind of lackluster against some mediocre competition. The Giants, they played pretty poorly against. They lost to the New England Patriots, a very bad team. So, Sam, I'll let you take this away.
I think, although they're 5-3, this was kind of like their final season to really prove that they're one of the top teams. And I'm not saying they can't, but as of right now, I think slightly below expectations. You got to put them in that category because, yeah, like you said, just keeping the Giants in it on Monday Night Football, losing to the Jets, like it's just the Patriots. Not failed because they're obviously have a winning record, but yeah, they're good at.
All right, coming off their first win, the Carolina Panthers behind rookie quarterback Bryce Young. Sam, where do you have them?
Right at met expectations. We also thought maybe there's a scenario where Bryce Young breaks out immediately and they play a little bit better, but for the most part, we thought they were going to be a bottom five
We'll get to them later, but it seems like there's 2 now, maybe 3 rookie quarterbacks that are going to be breaking out with Stroud,
Will Levis,
and Anthony Richardson.
Exactly.
Who,
unfortunately, is hurt.
Yeah.
But he showed some promise. All right, the Bears. I mean, remember, this is our expectations, not just in general. I mean, sometimes it's just in general because we do follow,
they failed.
What we think.
The Bears failed.
They failed expectations.
Easy as it is. This is a team who, I said as long as I had them going with 10 wins last year. I was very high on them, sort of towards the predictions. And they've completely failed. Justin Fields, fantasy-wise, his floor has been pretty good. If that's his floor, getting, say, 13 points.
That's fantasy isn't real life.
Nope, not at all. And he's kind of disappointed. The offense disappointed. You trade a second-round pick for Chase Claypool, and now he's with the Dolphins, not even playing right now. And it's just been a disappointing season, Sam.
The fact that we had both the Bears making the playoffs and that they're one of the worst teams in the NFL, which some people said they were going to be, but... we gotta go based on what we said. So yeah, they've absolutely failed because we were big Justin Fields guys, and yeah, they're not good this year. All right, the Bengals
coming on hot lately, beating the 49ers.
This one's tough. I would advocate for Met just because this is kind of exactly how they started off the year last season.
If this was a week or two from now, I'd put them at slightly better just because of the role that they're on. They're notoriously slow starters, and it's so tough because you dig yourself into such a hole here that you put yourself in the must-win games week after week. That you have to put them at this point in the season, halfway through.
Yeah.
That's the only right spot to put. As much as we want to say, oh no, they're doing better, they're winning games, beat a team who many consider to be top, like the 49ers. Another tough matchup against the Bills, which is going to say a lot. You have to put them at Met.
Look, it's not the week 4 show. It's the week 8 show. So if this was week 4, they would be failed right now. But yeah, it's exactly... I think they were actually 3-4 last year. So they're even better. They're 4-3.
In the Joe Burrow era, they just love to start off slow.
Yeah, that's just what it is. All right, the Browns, I'm going to say slightly better.
100% agree.
Yeah.
This defense, best defense in the NFL.
Absolutely.
It's Myles Garrett leading... he's top 3 in the MVP race, so definitely a true candidate. Him, Micah Parsons, and TJ Watt, the defensive player of the year. So
could be MVP if they actually respected defensive players, but no, they don't. So
we'll see what happens with that. But still, great defense, in contention to win the division right now, in a very tight division. Everyone's right there, so every game matters more than ever. Same thing with the NFC South. But anything else
if you would
want to
have
say?
told us that
Without Deshaun Watson,
Deshaun Watson, and even with him playing bad, that they would still be slightly better than expectation. That's a pretty good thing to hear from Browns fans, and that just shows how good your defense is. So they really have carried
defense wins championships.
Okay, the Dallas Cowboys. This one's very easy for me. I think they exactly met expectations. We knew that they were going to be a good team with a solid defense. Dak Prescott was going to be an above-average quarterback. They were going to have a good offense, but they can't win the big game.
Yep.
And that's basically what they've been for the last few years. So I feel like that's pretty easy. We could move on to a team that's a little more chaotic, as I would say. The Denver Broncos.
I'll let you take this one.
I believe I had them at 7-10, and they're pretty much well on their way to exactly that record. But I don't know. I'm back and forth between are doing worse or better. There's different ways. There's different perspectives to look on their season, especially after they just beat the Chiefs.
Yeah, I was just gonna say
it could actually be better, even though they were technically off to a worse start with Sean Payton than they were in Nathaniel Hackett a few weeks ago.
This isn't saying much, but after they gave up 70 points to the Dolphins, it's nearly impossible to play any worse than that. But they've really cleaned it up defensively. Offensively, they've been playing better on both sides of the ball. They've been playing better.
Yeah.
So
statistically, right now, Russell Wilson has better stats than Patrick Mahomes. He's a better completion percentage. He has a better passer rating and a better touchdown interception ratio.
Yeah, if you told me that going into the season that at this point Russell Wilson would have better stats, I'd be like, no way. And then you look at the records and it's a completely different story.
It's crazy. I mean, are we going slightly better? It's tough.
It's tough.
They're 3-5. I feel like
you could put them in slightly better, Met or and I won't have a complaint about either one.
I mean, if you're talking to a Broncos fan, just the fact that they beat the Chiefs, they're going exceeded.
Yeah.
But we're not going to go that way. That's not me being bitter, trust me.
So I'll listen to any category because
3-5 feels like Met, but the fact that they did beat the Chiefs.
I feel like we have to put them at Met.
Yeah, they're not good enough to be slightly better. I'm sorry.
The
Lions.
Maybe if they didn't give up 70 points to the Dolphins, we could have
that. Sorry, that's not making up for the fact that you guys beat us. I'm sorry. Okay, I feel like this could be our first exceeded, Chris.
And it will be.
Yep. Did you have them making the playoffs?
No, I wasn't as high on them because I said it's the Lions. Some teams are always going to be like that. And
okay, so we were on the same page.
We were on the same page a lot headed into this year.
Yeah, I was one of those advocates that I had the Lions going 8-9, kind of like the Jets, where I thought all this hype going into the season. It's not necessarily that I dislike the Lions. If I had to absolutely go with my gut, I got to pick the Lions to disappoint because that's what they've been doing for their whole franchise. Like
another win
you
last
have to
night.
Prove it to me.
Monday Night Football beating the Raiders. That's a whole conversation in itself. Jahmyr Gibbs had his breakout game.
Yep.
There was no David Montgomery.
Laporta, quick update.
We know
I won my fantasy week. Let's go. My season hopefully isn't. I don't want to jinx it, but it literally felt winning the Super Bowl. I'm not kidding.
It was great having Gibbs absolutely just smash and break out. Wonderful to see. That's what we all thought he was going to do. And now Montgomery should be coming back this week. Or
soon. But I mean, they don't really need him right now.
No.
The fact that they're 6-2, the fact that they are are they the 2 seed? Oh no, they lost to the Seahawks. Probably. Are they 5? I don't know. They're close, but the fact that they're first place midseason, that it's exceeded all the way.
All right, Sam.
Failed. This one's
Packers,
failed.
Yep.
This one's the complete opposite of how we were in the preseason. Well, I was a little more big on the Packers, but just for me at least, the Lions didn't have them make the playoffs. They've exceeded it. Packers, I had them winning the division. I had Jordan Love. I look back at my bold prediction for the season, and that was Jordan Love throwing more touchdown passes than Jared Goff.
I want to say headed into the season, I had
I'm an idiot.
the Packers winning. I think it was. Let me just double check real quick. I want to say I had them going 6-11.
Okay, so you're a little more on track.
Yeah. So, but you can go.
Where do we
It can
go
go either
then?
way because Jordan Love has just been way worse than I thought at this year, and it's just been. So I'm fine with that. If this was, but they're like somewhere in the middle for me between the
it has to be
and failed, but
it has to be.
and Packer fans, man,
The fact that their roster
It's tough for
overall is
them.
still pretty good. Like, and they're 2-5 now. Sorry, I know it looks weird. You guys are sitting with the Bears, but that's the reality of 2023.
Yep. Texans, I have them at exceeded. For
I
me.
have exceeded. Even the fact that they have a losing record, the fact that CJ Stroud is already looking like the best rookie quarterback. They've won 3 games, which we thought at this point maybe one at best.
Very good chance
right?
Stroud is the offensive rookie of the year.
Yep.
Argue that he's been the top rookie quarterback this year. Who knows if Anthony never got hurt? It would be a battle between those two. So it's been a lot of fun and very interesting and exciting time for.
They're a frisky team.
Yep, for the Texans fans and for this next team, Sam, the Colts. I'm putting them right next to them with exceeding as well.
This one is close for me.
They signed Jonathan Taylor. Zach Moss was an animal when he was
you're
out.
right.
Richardson, he was playing like an absolute stud when he was healthy. And even with Minshew taking charge at quarterback, now they're still putting up points, still being competitive. So this year, you're not winning anything between all the good that's happened between your rookie quarterback and Josh Downs. And just everything you saw early in the year, you have to put them at exceeded because you got to think about it. Richardson is only going to get better. Downs is only going to get better from here on out.
Yeah, okay, I do agree. I think I was hesitant because when I'm comparing the Texans and the Colts, I kind of feel like I heard way more during the offseason that the Texans were going to be the worst team in the NFL. I didn't hear it as much for the Colts. I'm not saying people thought the Colts were going to be good by any means, but yeah, I guess I would agree. They just don't have that surprising spark that is compared to the Texans. I think they're a little more under the radar, even though they've had just as good of a season. So you know what? I'll let that be. I'll agree with you. Jags. Now here's the thing: you want to go between us or the league because I think everyone mostly had them making the playoffs, but we were huge on the Jags.
Listen, I had
the Jags winning the Super Bowl.
I had them going to the Super Bowl and winning,
and I had the Jags, I believe, actually losing in the championship game. So I think
we were higher on the field than them.
I want to say it's tough. Do we go between what we thought?
This is a list that we have, so it has to be with us.
I think the Jags. It's tough because they're so cursed as a franchise that I want to put them at slightly better. But Chris, I mean, we were kind of right on the prediction, so we kind of have to go Met. I'm sorry. I mean, it's our show, it's our prediction, so you're right. We got to go Met on this one. We kind of nailed it.
Kind of. I think we hit the nail right on the head, man.
Okay, the Chiefs, here's the thing. It's really tough doing this right after we lost to the Broncos because now my head's a little bit clouded. I'm a little bit down on them right now. Not down in the fact that the walls are crashing down. Of course not. The Chiefs will be fine. But I don't know. 6-2 is great. Still first place in the AFC. I don't think you go exceeded or slightly better. I think at best you go Met right now just in the fact of how the offense has been playing. The defense has exceeded expectations, but let's be real. I'm a Chiefs fan, so my head's a little clouded, but from an outsider's perspective, the first thing you think of when someone says the Kansas City Chiefs is Mahomes. And honestly, he's played like an above-average quarterback this year. He has not played like an MVP. He's played good, but he's also had some very bad games. Our offense has been a little wonky. Definitely not the same stats as the last 5 years. I'm going to go Met. I don't know what you think.
I agree with that 100%. You know, people might be like, oh, but the record... top of the AFC, this and that, but it doesn't matter. It's not about record. It's about expectations. And simply from the fact that they have let down an offense, you have to put them at Met.
Yeah, and I think it evens it out. The fact
their expectations are always so high.
Yeah, the offense has let down. The defense has exceeded, but they're still 6-2 first place in the AFC. So I feel like that has to just go right in the middle. All right, here's a team in the same division that at this point, finally, you jumped on it this preseason.
Yeah.
Last year, you were more on the Chargers side. They did make the playoffs, but they blew it.
Yeah.
I know the Chargers very well. I know that they're always going to end up blowing it. So we were both negative on the Chargers. We both had them missing the playoffs this year. And so far, we're on the right track. But
Got to put them in
do we have them in I think we do need to put them in because it's not like we picked them to go 5-12,
Yeah.
which is literally like the trajectory they're on right now. Maybe like 6 or 7 wins, but yeah, I would go It's not completely failed, but certainly just once again underutilizing all that talent. Just disappointing.
And another team who you go into the year and you're like, is this a good team? Is this a bad team? What really are they? The Rams? And I have them in the same category as the Chargers. I feel that it's
this
really
one's tough.
It is tough, and it's just kind of figuring out where the Rams are. But I think after this past week getting embarrassed by the Cowboys, a team who, let's be real, is better than them. Even though you have Cooper, I know you have Cooper Kupp and Puka.
Wow.
Even though
We got that exact. That was the first time we had a synchronized
even
Puka.
though you have both of
Happy
them.
Halloween, folks. I don't even know what that has to do with Puka, but
Okay, Fish, settle down. Even though you have 2 stud wide receivers, you've let down. So I have them at
Okay. Okay. Fine. You're right. I'll agree. The Raiders met. I feel like they're exactly where we expect them to be. 3-5 at Jimmy Garoppolo. The offense struggles. Devontae Adams is a little pissed off with how
Rightfully
they're treating
so.
him. And the defense is super inconsistent, with Max Crosby being the only guy who's the saving grace on that team.
Yep.
I feel like they're exactly what we thought, honestly.
Yep.
Okay. The Dolphins.
Man,
The fact that we had them both 9-8, 10-7. You had actually 11-6. I think the only thing that's keeping them from exceeded is the fact that they haven't beaten a good team yet. So I would put them slightly better, honestly.
I agree 100%.
If this was right after 70-20, we're putting exceeded Super Bowl favorites, but we love the Dolphins. But
I mean, this offense
got to beat someone.
With Tyreek Hill. Shout out to the Miz, because this offense and Tyreek Hill have been awesome, baby, awesome. Can we
could have done a better shout out than that.
I know, but really quick, can we just please give the Miz another championship run, please?
Like Mizuzama. I know his name.
I'm sick and
Not big
tired.
into wrestling,
I'm sick and tired of having him put over talent. He needs to be the star. He needs to be main eventing WrestleMania nights 1 and 2. Shout out my guy, the Miz. Shout out Al and Brian.
I just fell asleep. Sorry. All right. The Minnesota Vikings met. Just super inconsistent. Have a better team. Have a better roster than the record shows. They finally give themselves hope, only for Kirk Cousins to tear his Achilles and break Vikings fans' hearts, because that's what happens to their hearts literally every season at least one point in the season. I'm sorry, Al. You know they met at their expectations this year. They're exactly middle of the pack, even though some games they should have won, some they would have lost, and now you're heartbroken and left wanting more.
Patriots.
Sorry.
Patriots.
I failed.
Yeah,
fuck the Patriots, man. Sorry to curse. I'm trying not to curse as much, but
Saints.
I hate the Patriots so much. Yeah, Saints.
They're right in the mix for division battle right now, but they haven't looked good either.
That's another thing with the Saints and the whole NFC South, other than the Panthers. I got to put them at
I agree 100%.
I think even though the fact that they're in first, like, the Saints just look wildly inconsistent.
The saving grace is Kamara actually getting, I think it's like a 26% target share on this team, which is absurd. He has 2 games with double-digit targets as a running back. It's nuts. PPR legend.
There's so many times where the offense looks explosive. Derek Carr hits Rashid Shaheed for a 50-yard bomb at least every game at this point. And I don't know. There's something fishy about the Saints. I had them winning the division, so they haven't impressed me yet. The Giants
failed.
It depends.
I have them failed, man.
But what did you have them at the beginning of the season? What did we? I had them not being good this year.
I had them 8-9, just missing the playoffs. I have them at failed. This team is way worse.
Yeah, that is way worse than 8-9. I agree. Yeah, you're right.
And you obviously have injuries and everything, but even beginning of the season, they look like utter doo-doo.
Awesome. Is that what how he says it? I don't watch wrestling. Was that even close?
We need you to start watching wrestling.
Okay. I used to. CM Punk.
Get back,
R-Truth.
Get back into it.
Sheamus. I just name wrestlers all day from like 2012. Alberto Del Rio. Okay.
Can you just acknowledge our tribal chief, Roman Reigns?
I don't care. I really don't care. Mark Henry as well. I liked Mark Henry. He was big and sweaty. All right.
You made the list.
Remember Karma? Do you remember Karma? And they tried to make her a big thing, and then she got pregnant and had to leave. Do you remember that? That was one of the worst wrestling people I've ever seen in my life. All right. Jets.
Okay, this has to change because Aaron Rodgers going into the season totally different. Then you have Zach Wilson, and everything changes. So I say
Slightly better.
Slightly better.
If this was Aaron Rodgers, they were 4-3. Yep, that's right around where we thought. But the fact that they're 4-3 with Zach Wilson, I mean,
and you could be
kudos to the Jets.
And with the Chargers, who knows what can happen? They can easily Charger, and this Jet team can be 5-3.
Yeah, they can win this week at home, Monday Night Football. You never know. The Eagles, I'm gonna say, it's tough because they just went to the Super Bowl, but they are the number 1 team in the NFL. Would you go slightly better?
I have slightly better. They're right on pace, if not to do better than they did last year. You have Jalen Carter, who can easily win Defensive Rookie of the Year. So I think this is a scarier Eagles team, and they are proving once again why they are the favorites in the NFC with the help of the 49ers absolutely just being abysmal these last 3 weeks.
Okay. Chris, I'm just going to have you talk about the Steelers because I don't even know what them.
Yeah, the Steelers team, they're one who you just go back and forth and you think, oh, are they actually going to get over 500 in the next week? Oh, are they not? And then you have
Here
the
they
offense.
are at 4-3 though.
4-3
over 500
this,
like they always
this
are.
is exactly what they've been the last few years. This awful offense, the defense has to carry because without this defense, TJ Watt, Minka, this team maybe wins 4 games, 5 games. It's just a nightmare. But defensively, you're keeping them there. But
defense is half the team. So
I
can't say without them.
Exactly. So I'm going to have them right at Met expectations for me.
It's exactly, now that I think about it.
This is the type of season I thought that they were going to have. They were going to win games that are close, win games they shouldn't win. They should lose games that they should win. And it's been exactly like that this year. And can they get to the 10-win prediction like I had? That's still very possible. Kenny Pickett will be playing Thursday night, he said. And Joey Porter Jr. officially named a starter by Mike Tomlin, which
He was not the starter before that?
Nope. He was
Didn't
not.
he have a pick in
He did.
one?
He did. He was never the starter.
That's crazy.
So about time we get him in there. Long overdue. So we'll see what happens. And I have them right at Met because this is where we both had them.
Okay. Seahawks, I think.
Slightly better?
I almost think exceeded. The fact that they're ahead of the Niners right now, midseason, I have them at 8-1, the most average team because I had no idea what to do with them preseason.
I agree with that. A lot of people thought that Geno might regress. Pete Carroll has that team right where he wants them. They just made a trade for Leonard Williams from the Giants. And this is going to beef up that defensive line.
Frank Clark got him back.
And make a move right now with the Seattle Seahawks. I like what they did.
Smith and Jigba is starting to pick up now, the rookie.
Yeah.
He just had the game-winning touchdown. So
Bobo.
Jake Bobo.
Yeah.
We mentioned him last episode.
Kenneth Walker.
Yeah.
Beast.
You just keep naming players now. But no.
Same the entire roster.
Okay. Niners. This was a few weeks ago. Exceeded. Right now, I'm going
Yeah, 100%.
The fact that they lost 3 straight, they lost to the Vikings, lost to the Browns. I mean, the Browns are good, but
then you lose to the Bengals.
They literally looked like they were going to go undefeated after week 5.
We were here, and right when we said, what's their weakness? They started losing. I guess we're their weakness at this point.
Yeah, I literally was asking, what flaw does this team have? It turns out there's a lot of them. So
this entire division, the NFC South, I don't know where to put any of them because they're all kind of just mediocre, but have they exceeded expectations? Have they not? I didn't know what to do with going from Tom Brady to Baker Mayfield. I just wasn't as high on them. I think I had them winning 5 games, but they're still here.
Chris, wait, I'm looking at this list. What if we just put out this picture on Instagram and just said this was our rankings and just didn't tell them the rules? Texans and Colts are at the top right now.
And
the Bills are in the 49ers. Okay.
We would get some funny looks for sure.
Yeah. I would say the Bucks have met expectations. They were a little bit good at the beginning of the season, but
you know what you're getting with Baker Mayfield. You're going to get a guy who is inconsistent, and when he's on, he's on. When he's off, the train is off the tracks at that point.
The Titans, I had them at 7-10. Feels like they're well on their way to something like that. I would also go met expectations. It might have been a few weeks ago, but Will Levis literally just had one of the best debuts any rookie quarterback has had.
Yep.
So you got to at least put him in Met.
This is going to be something that we're going to look back on, say, just 5 weeks from now, and we can really evaluate Will Levis some more.
Yeah.
And DeAndre Hopkins, he didn't get moved. Henry didn't get moved, so he has weapons that he can work with.
Here comes Jasper.
Yo, he made
we were waiting for it. Oh, you guys didn't see this pre-episode. He made his first ever. I didn't think he could leap on this table, but he did it with ease. Here, come sit here.
Come on.
Come
lay down.
There he is. Jasper, look at the camera. Turn around. No, not the computer. Look. No, you can't lick my face. Do you think this is a fish? A real fish? What do you think? What do you think about the Commanders, the final team? What fan is Jasper of? Just Giants? Steelers?
He's a fan of everyone.
All right. So, except for the Commanders, because it's our final team, and we don't care about the Commanders here on the
Jasper,
Huddle podcast.
Jasper, do you care about the
Yeah, see, no one cares about the Commanders because they're one of the most irrelevant teams in the NFL. They have been my entire life because I was born after the 21st century.
This Commanders team, I will have slightly better with expectations. This offense, Sam Howell, they've done better than I thought. And in this offense, I'm going to say that they have, with Bieniemy getting there and this wide receiver core and everything, this is a team that I feel a lot of people put at.
He's licking the terrible towel.
between I can't even focus right now. Between 5 and 7 wins, and this is a team who they could be right there. They can exceed it because this offense at times
slightly better,
has been very explosive. Look what they did against the Eagles this past week. They hung in there with them. A lot of explosive plays. Howell, great fantasy day. I know this isn't about fantasy.
It's tough though. They lost by 20 to the Bears. I feel like they're met. This is one I have to disagree with.
If there was a category that was like right between these two that we had, you would put them right there. It's
but they're
tough.
3-5. I don't know. I agree that Sam Howell has exceeded a little bit, or
the whole offense has.
Yeah, I don't know. They just traded away Chase Young. We'll get to that our next little segment on our next episode. But Chris, I would have to go Met. I'm sorry.
I have them as slightly better.
All right, rock paper scissors.
All right,
on shoot.
put the microphone down. I'll shoot.
Yeah. Rock paper scissors shoot.
Wait, what are you doing? It says shoot.
Says shoot. Okay. Rock paper scissors says shoot. All right. They stayed slightly better.
Chalk one up for the good guys.
What? Okay. Thank God this episode was a little bit quicker now. All right, that's it. That was our tier. What is that? That's not even the fish. Okay. All right, I'm not even gonna say what's on it. What was worse, the Trevor Lawrence or this? That was worse. This one's better.
But I look at you and I can't take you seriously no matter what you say, what your picks are.
I should have said happy. All right, in about like 3 months, I'm gonna wear this just randomly again, and just not say anything about it. Like this, it's Halloween today, but okay, she just ran upstairs. But yeah, I'm literally gonna wear this in like 3 months, just to like, and I'm not gonna tell you guys about it. So. Everyone's just staring at me. Okay, Chris, that's about it for our tier list. We will check back on this by the end of the season.
Yep, definitely we'll do one of these at the end, kind of seeing beginning to end. I think this was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed stuff like this. You know, it's nice and it's sad that we're halfway through the season at the same time. It kind of breaks my heart a little bit.
I'm looking at this right now. It's just like it's about to be November, and that's it. But we are gonna put this out as like a shorter episode on YouTube, and we'll be coming at you guys with another mid-season episode as well, filmed right after this. It will be our mid-season awards. And yeah, that's about it. So thank you guys for listening and watching. We'll see you guys next time.